a lack of empathy, like one of the most common traits, a lack of empathy. A person who just lacks empathy and, quote unquote, doesn't have a conscience.
Oh, this is the biggest one, I think, because it's a foundation for the whole relationship. It's a foundation for their entire way of thinking and how they operate. The problem with it is they don't come with a flashing red light on their head that says, I don't have a conscience. They have learned since childhood how to mimic emotion, and they are extremely good at pretending. You don't recognize it for quite some time. I caught little glimpses of it, but like watching a movie, even as a man, we talked about that earlier, the whole man thing, but there's certain movies that just, you got to wipe the corner of your eye, I noticed with her at times that just didn't happen. I remember one time we were at a meeting where we were hearing this story that a person was telling, a life story. It was a tragic thing, and he was talking about his father that committed suicide, and everyone in the room was crying except for her, my ex. I just kind of noticed, I looked at her and I thought, wow, the only person in this room who isn't wiping tears from their eyes is the person sitting next to me. And that scared the hell out of me. I got to tell you, it really did. But until you're pretty deep into the relationship, I don't know how well you'll recognize it unless you're really being careful and looking for it, because they really learn how to act as if. And, they are very, very skilled at what they do, and they can mimic emotion real well. But you will catch glimpses of it if you're aware. If you're watching for it and maybe you suspect it, watch really close and then trust those instincts.
Definitely, man. I mean, just think about those words. Just think about how that sounds. A person who lacks empathy, a person that can just toss you to the wolves, a person that could almost have killed you and just not care.
Right.
She got mad or he got mad and threw some hot boiling water at you and you ducked, and if you wouldn't have ducked, you would have got scorched. And they don't even acknowledge, and it'll be like, well, you shouldn't have said this or you shouldn't have did that. Yeah, I did it. I know it was wrong, but, I mean, whatever. You shouldn't have done whatever. Like that type stuff. A person just does not, they lack empathy. They just don't care. It's just no feeling bad. Like you said, Trenton, the devaluation, just being able to just toss you aside. Like a person that can move on so quickly, if you're dating someone who is able to move on quickly, like they go from you're the greatest thing that ever happened to them yesterday to today, you know what? Nah, I'm good. I don't want this no more.
Yep.
And a lot of times what they'll do is like, because I've been like, man, when I say research, I mean research. Like, I feel like I went to the University of Sociopaths or something. Like, I'm really, almost obsessed with myself with trying to understand. And I've seen stories where people are like, man, this person was great, and then I got a text saying I can't do this no more. It's like, but we just had an amazing dinner last night. It was like, I got a text saying I can't do this no more. I called. It went straight to voicemail. They blocked my number. Then I called again. The number was changed. And I just gave this person a year of my life, and I haven't heard from them, and they just cut me off just like that. They lack of conscience, lack of empathy, toss you aside like you're nothing, like they get over you instantly, even if they're the one that did something wrong, and then blame it on you and cut you off and move on to the next person. And then the one thing that I don't like about Facebook is people you may know, and then you see a picture of your ex from like a month ago or 2 weeks ago with their new companion as the profile pic. And you were trying your hardest to practice no contact, which we're really going to get a little more into. And that right in front of your face, you can't escape it. And now you're like, who is this person? And as much as you want to continue no contact, now you're like, who is this person on that page? Right. Like, who is this new person? And you might have that urge, and once you click it, you just fell for the bait. Now you're deep into it. Now you're going to hurt and mourn even more. It's crazy. It's crazy.
You're exactly right. And you know, when we've experienced that, now we're looking at it thinking that they're moving on and now they're happy with this person, but the thing we have to really remember is that person is now being manipulated like we were in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And the cycle will continue. They're not. I had that. I thought, oh great, I went through all this pain and misery with her. Now she's just going to move on and be happy ever after with this person. No, she won't. That person is just another victim in the early stages, just like I was. You know, and so. You know, when it comes to that, I got to tell you, I was really lucky. Mine did not have a Facebook profile by that point, and I'm so glad she didn't.
Oh, my
I
goodness.
am so lucky because I know I wouldn't have been able to.
Mutual friends and all that. It's so Facebook will take it upon itself to connect you to the people you despise the most. They will do it.
That's true, but you know. At some point, you just get to that point. It's like, you know what? I'm taking control of my life, and I'm going to be happy again. I'm moving on. I'm not. That's where I'm at now. I don't care. People try to bring her up, what she's doing now. I'm like, I don't care. That's good. You know, I'm happy.
That's great. That's so great to hear. Unfortunately, you have to get to that point, and I know Trenton, it took you a while, right? Like, how long would you say it took you to get to where you're at now, to feel the way you feel now?
Oh boy, the relationship ended in. Like completely over in April of 2014, and I would say in the last 5-6 months I've been really, really good. You know, up till then it was like a process and gradually. So, you know, almost 2 years, year and a half, whatever. But I've worked really, really hard at it. You know, I worked very hard at getting better and. You know, some people it takes longer, and my heart goes out to some people because they just struggle with this thing for so long. And I would say, especially for how long the relationship lasted with mine and how bad she is, I've actually bounced back pretty good from it. You know, but I'd say just if you're getting out of a relationship like this, you can just plan on the next year being pretty tough. And once you accept that, it makes it easier. Once you're willing to say, you know what, okay, it's going to hurt for a year or whatever, but it's going to gradually get better, that made it easier for me to go through it. I just accepted it, you know, and and it becomes a pretty interesting kind of a journey because you're not only discovering about them, but you're learning a lot about yourself, and you're kind of growing as a human being and discovering a lot of things about yourself, and it turns out to be a very healing process, and now at this point in my life I know what I want and I won't settle for anything less, and I have a much clearer picture of me and a lot more peace, and you know, so I hope that's other people's experience, you know, because it really has been mine.